Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super not funny show reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today we're going to be reviewing WandaVision Episode 8. Episode 8 called Previously On. And of course that's on Disney Plus. And man, if you're here, you know what time it is. You know what's up. You've been watching. This is the penultimate episode of the series, or probably the series. I don't feel like this is going to spin out to a season 2, but we'll see. As usual, I'm going to do non-spoilery thoughts first off. So if you haven't seen the show, you can still watch this review and then, go watch the show and not get spoiled. Well, not overly much in a way that will ruin it for you. Without further ado, was this good? Was it bad? And should you be watching the show? Stick around because I have opinions. On this week's episode of WandaVision called Previously On, what an appropriate title, I suppose. Because, hey, guys, this is an info dump episode. And I say info dump, I don't mean it in necessarily a bad way. We're just, they're telling us all the things they've been sort of hinting at or dodging around. So all that stuff like that. This is definitely one of those revelation episodes. But that's done in a very interesting way, actually. You could even call it a flashback episode. And it's actually funny. It's called Previously On. And then, of course, before the episode starts, it says Previously on WandaVision. So this is just another example of the meta-ness of this show. There's been so much, inside baseball meta stuff going on. Just commentary on the genre of sitcoms, of superhero films, and of sitcoms in general, of TV making in general. It's very fun and very interesting to kind of dig into, which I suppose is why we've been talking so much about this show lately. But on the show this week, revelations. Agatha, aka Agnes, so she's been Agnes. We're gonna call Agatha, Agnes, whatever. She reveals what's been going on. She said last episode, "I'm a witch." But what does she really want? And you know what? She really wants to know, how the heck did all this come about? We saw earlier in the show where Monica just said, "Hey, this is all Wanda," and Agnes, aka Agatha, is like, "Hey, if this is all you, what the hell? How did you get from how did you get to this place? This place is awesome. This place is amazing. This shouldn't be possible from some person who's so young and can't just, what is this? So before all that happens, we find out some of Agatha's. We find out her origins. And then from her origins, we understand why she is attracted to this particular place, that, we have Wanda here. And it seems she's on a fact-finding tour, if you will. And as part of the deal, she sort of has the twins, sequestered somewhere. And so the rest of the episode really is just a walk down memory lane for Wanda. Painful memory lane, even. I would even call this an intervention of sorts. It's odd for being the bad guy here, the apparent bad guy. Agatha is, strangely enough, trying to help. She's forcing Wanda to face the truth, and the truth of her actions in response to all of the trauma and pain she's faced in her life, and confront the truth about what she's been doing in Westview and how it all came to be. Because up to this point, Wanda's been saying, "I don't know how it happened." And this really is, it seems like an intervention, but also a fact-finding tour for Agatha. I will give all the credit in the world. The MVP of this episode, by far, Elizabeth Olsen. She runs the gamut in terms of emotional content. She goes all over the place in terms of, just how she approaches every scene. she's not. It's not always her and everything, but she's scared and vulnerable, and she's powerful and angry and just devastated. She's just Jeff's kiss, as they say on, on Fat Man Beyond. Just she's really, really good in this episode. And for a change, you know what? Some props to Catherine Hahn too. There was a couple of scenes where she's kind of flat, to be honest, and they were early on. But later on, she's very understated and a great supporting character. She's a supporting character in this episode and dials back the awesome just enough to let Elizabeth Olsen be the star of this episode, as she should be. And also, a great little turn as Vision from Paul Bettany. Really loved his the scene he's in. And, throughout this, it's just a lot of, I won't call this a wow episode in terms of revelations or anything like that. This isn't the Pietro reveal. It's nothing like that. But it really is a reveal of just what's going on. What the hell's going on here? Well, how did it come to be? Who's really the bad guy here? Is there a bad guy? And maybe we can see a way out of this thing. Unfortunately, a couple characters do get sidelined, and they don't show up in here, and that is Monica and Pietro, or they're not in it, so that's unfortunate. But it really is all about Wanda and Agatha really making her face the truth of what's going on and her pain, and try to see a way forward. And also, there's a big reveal toward the end that really kind of ties a bow on Wanda as a character, and hopefully kind of opens the door for new possibilities going forward into the future. I can't say too much more without giving a whole lot of stuff away. Let's just say magic's real, and there's a lot of magic in this episode. It's really interesting. There's the traveling through memories made me think of Harry Potter. There's stuff like that. There's a lot of references. It's very meta in many ways. And it's also surprisingly very sweet at several points in this episode. That just great writing, great directing, great acting. Loved the episode, and hey, you should if you got this far, you should be watching it. See the end. See the end. Why wouldn't you watch to the end? This is great TV. Marvel's first outing. They are just killing it, and I cannot wait for the next episode, because as much revelations there were in this, there's one episode to go, and really there's still some conflict and plot threads that need to be cleared up. And hopefully it'll be about as long as this episode, which was, about 40 something minutes, with minus the credits. So, okay, I can't say any more without spoiling. So, that's my review. I really liked it. You should be watching this. Absolutely, you should be watching WandaVision. Why wouldn't you be? So if you like this review, of course, I would love for you to, hit the like button, or you can always leave me a comment down below. Or if you really want to, send me something longer than, or just want to have a conversation, hit me up on Twitter at supernotfunnys1, on email supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com. We can get there and chop it up as we do with these things. So, again, if you don't want to be spoiled, you're going to have to get the heck out of here. But thank you for joining me, and, go watch the show, come back here, check out the spoilers. Okay? All right, if you haven't seen it, get the heck out of here, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. I think they're gone. All right. Spoiler time. Spoiler time. Let's get to it. Good Lord, there's so much in here. I could jump around. I gotta refer to notes. This is weird. This is one of the first shows I've ever actually said, let me take notes. There's no way I'll remember all this stuff. It's a ton. Starting from the top. Agatha's 300 something years old. That's crazy. But not too crazy. She's got magic. And also, would you call her, is she a magical vampire? Is she a witch-pyre? Vampire? I don't know. Whatever. She eats magic. She eats other people's magic. Is that what she's doing here? Does she come? We've been all thinking, someone's eating on Wanda's magic. That's what the Yo Magic shark is all about. And people were wondering if it was some big bad, a bigger bad than this. But, maybe Agatha's just the big bad, or a big bad, not the big bad. And it's weird because she's not all bad. Like, it doesn't seem like she's been, you know, too malicious. I think there's more about her being, an old person, an old soul that's sort of seen people live and die, and then she's a lot more callous towards people. I could be wrong. She could just be evil, but it doesn't strike me as super evil because she really was very empathetic to Wanda throughout the memory walk. I did think it was interesting, the whole crown thing, and that comes into play later. I was thinking, oh, is there some kind of, magic witch thing or queen thing or whatever? Didn't really explain that, not really, until the very end. It's, I think, if you follow the comics, a lot of what's going on is not a revelation to you. If you don't follow comics, Wanda's whole power thing, it was from her mutation, but also she wields, chaos magic. That's pretty much been the explanation in the comics for a long time. And only until relatively recently has she, started learning actual magic. So it wasn't a surprise to me at all seeing the runes and everything. Like, some of the things I was just like, okay, well, there's runes, so there must be a spell of protection. That's why she can do whatever she can do, and it's not being affected. And that brooch is probably protecting her. None of this stuff was a revelation to me, and yet I still loved it. Especially the part where Agatha was like, look at all the stuff I can do. It's so awesome. Look, I can turn a fly into a bird and then feed it to my little fucking weird ass bunny. It's like the bunny whenever I saw the bunny eat the little fly, I was just thinking, like, is that the fucking rabbit from Monty Python? It just made me think of that killer rabbit that just ravaged all the knights in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But I think it was just all to a point to show, hey, it took me a long time. I'm 300. It took me a long time to learn how to do cool ass magic. And fuck you. I'm so goddamn jealous. Fuck you for just doing this just because you felt like it. You just wished it up. In what world is that fair? Like, how are you doing this? And so the rest of the episode really is let's just go see what led you to there. I thought it was really interesting, the way, the family was all into sitcoms. That's why Wanda's all into sitcoms, because they grew up in let's call it what it is, a shitty country. And that's how you escape. And hey, Sokovia may be a fake country, but that's some real shit. That's real shit over there on the other side. Hey, I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. Crappy countries and American pop culture, they get 10, 15 years later, but they love it. So that's something about that stuff is just universal, seems to be. The whole, you know what? I can't even hate on the whole fake Pietro thing. Good, you know what? Tip of the hat to you, Marvel, Feige, and you mad scientists over at Marvel. You guys got us. Maybe he is going to be Pietro going forward, but you got us. That was a good fake out, and great job. It sucks, but it sucks to me. But I wasn't totally married to the idea. If he wasn't, that's fine. Whatever. But good job on faking us out on Pietro and straight up saying it's not really Pietro. I wonder. Well, I don't even really wonder. I figure that Agatha is definitely, like I said, feeding off of this, and she's, as a magic vampire, I'm assuming that's what she is. She's always looking for big sources. I just wonder, did she see Corvus? No, is it Corvus Glaive? Who the hell was the Obsidian Black or whatever the magic guy from Thanos? I wonder, did that draw him? And as maybe she's just smart enough not to fuck with people like the sorcerers or whatever. We see a lot of examples of magic in this, but there's, like she did, it's a probability spell. It's all just really interesting to see that everything literally is a spell. So, it is also weird to me that they just shoot magic energy at each other. It seems very unsophisticated. It's like watching a superhero version of what a witch or wizard would be. They just shoot energy at each other. But you know what? Doctor Strange sort of did that shit too. So they just had the little whirling weirdo symbols around their arms. So I guess I can't say too much about it. I do think that I think Agatha's, at first it seems like she's really jealous, but then it comes to find out no, she's not jealous so much as fucking worried for the world about who Wanda is. If she's got all this power, as she gives her and actually I want to talk about that. She gives her name, an actual name, and I like that they pointed out earlier in the like 2 or 3 episodes ago, or it may have been 4 episodes ago. They point out Wanda's never had an actual code name. She's not called Scarlet Witch, and so now she's gonna get that name, but it's gonna actually mean something more than I wear red and I do magic shit. It's actually a thing that means something. So I'm assuming they're gonna build up some kind of mythology around it. Hopefully they'll explain it next episode. That would be nice. But she gets the moniker the Scarlet Witch. That she wields pure chaos magic and can just basically do whatever. And that's bad. That is hella bad because Wanda is really, really not mentally stable. She's I would say a barrel of dynamite, next to a fire, but that would be way too safe for what she actually is right now. She's not in the right place to be having all that power. I did really like when there's just a little aside. She's like, "Oh, you just decided to join a terrorist organization because there's a Stark bomb." That's really smart. That really solved the problem. I love that, calling the BS. It does seem kind of silly, especially to go decide freedom fighting by deciding to be, a test subject. That whole little test subject thing was pretty sweet though. Especially we saw like the little blip, the little jump cut, whatever you want to call it, that happened in real life. That was pretty sweet. Just saying that her magic got amped up to the next huge levels, and we see more of the Mind Stone throughout the rest of the episode whenever that yellow energy comes out. So there's a lot of color coding going on within the context of this show, and it's all very interesting. It lets us know, maybe that vision within there is actually the vision, or well, I guess the thing is, Wanda gets her powers. Didn't get her powers from the Mind Stone, but she got an upgrade in power, so it's kind of a part of her. So I suppose if you think that is a part of her, then since Vision, the Mind Stone was part of Vision, I suppose though the energies could reside within each other. So maybe that actually is Vision. It actually is Vision, as he's been residing within the energy that inhabits Wanda, which will be an interesting way to go about actually bringing Vision back. Speaking of, let's talk about Hayward. Is he bad? I'm trying to figure this out. Is he bad? It's like, yes, he's clearly a fucking liar. He set Wanda up to look like the bad guy. He's clearly shitty for reconstructing Vision and making him whole again to use him as a weapon. Okay, that's shitty. I'm not going to lie about that. But also in a way, he was very sensitive to Wanda and her whole situation. I suppose in an effort to lie to her properly or something. And he kind of, he did make her look like she was the real villain. Well, it's really more like, she didn't really do anything. And he was just trying to cover his tracks. So I guess he's a bad guy. But in many ways, a lot of times he's not been very wrong about what's going on. Not wrong at all, in my opinion. I really enjoyed the scene between Wanda and Vision. We've kind of wondered, like, what kind of relationship, how did that start between those two? And to see that Vision's not just an android. We knew that, but to see that even though he may be new to the world and everything, and he's got his own little android perspective, synthezoid, whatever the fuck you want to call it, he endeared himself to her for a reason, and their love works, and it's actually real love. And Paul Bettany just bringing his A game to that particular scene. Elizabeth Olsen was already doing her, on her A game, but just really bringing it. That was a very touching, heartwarming, real feels scene at least for me. And I really thought it really made a lot of their relationship make sense, a lot more sense. I really did enjoy the peeling back of the layers of the onion, if you will. They're on that set. There's actually been sets. I said that last week. It's pretty clear that there's been actual sets, that the director has been Agatha and not Wanda, even though Wanda has been the one that's directing things. So I thought it was interesting to actually show the sets and behind the scenes. That was very interesting. Again, super meta up in this piece. And then, of course, we have the Vision body back. Could that be the way that Vision gets back into the MCU properly? Is he going to be gray all this time? He's going to be fighting, Chaos Magic Vision. Where is Agatha going to come down on all of this? I mean, obviously we're going to see Hayward have his confrontation. Agatha's going to have her confrontation. Is this going to be an MCU standard ending? How's this all going to come together? Is Wanda really still villain? Like, she's going to be the villain here. What's Monica got to do with this? What's fake Pietro got to do with this? How is Westview going to come back together? Speaking of Westview, before I finish off my thoughts, Westview, good job looking like New Jersey. Sorry, New Jersey, but your reputation for looking terrible, Westview looked like straight ass, like it's a failing city that everyone needs to move out of immediately. And I guess good job, Vision, for getting that deed, but those 5 years were not kind to that land. Let me just say that. So, but all of that was, is always very interesting, the way the Hex came about, and it's clear to us the whole Scarlet Witch thing, not a good thing at all. Not in the hands of Scarlet Witch. She needs to get her fucking head together. But if she got her head together, where would be the drama, and where would Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness be? I hope I'm just going to say it. I hope it ends badly, just because I want all that drama that's going to come along later on. One can hope. But poor Wanda and poor Vision. Maybe Vision survives, maybe he doesn't. And poor kids, dang it. Agatha, maybe she is evil. She was leashing the kids. That was pretty messed up. Pretty darn messed up. So, I don't know. There's so much happening in this episode, but next episode, it all goes down. It's going down, and things are going to get blowing up, and it's going to be all magic and shit. It's going to be like watching Dumbledore and Voldemort fight again. So, I'm looking forward to it. Okay. That's more than enough rambling right now on this show. That's my spoiler review of the show. What do you guys think? Why don't you hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, @supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. Of course, you can hit me up down in the comments. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you will. Let everyone know that this was a good thing that you watched. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And you can hit that notification bell so you will know when we put out new content. And of course, we're going to be putting out new content every week as new things come out, more reviews, more trailer reactions to other things. We got some other things cooking in the pot over here at the Super Not Funny Show, so stay tuned for all of that. But all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thank you so much for joining us on the Super Not Funny Show Reviews WandaVision Episode 8, and that is previously on. I have been Mo Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. So, we'll see you next week for the final episode of WandaVision. Until then, you guys stay safe, and I'll see you on the other side of the thread. Peace.